And to know more about George's career in England, let's talk to George himself because we are connected with him via the internet.
Online. Yeah, I
via
think
online.
so. Good afternoon, George.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, George.
Hello, Indonesia.
Very nice to finally see you. So this is Hans, Krizia, and Aubrey from the studio. Thank you so much for sparing your time and to talk to us.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on today.
So, George, probably we want to know, how did you start your career? Probably we heard about you started your career like a very young age, but we want to know from your point of view, your angle.
So I've been playing piano for most of my life. It's something that I've grown up with, something that I've always done. I started piano when I was, well, actually, I got my first piano when I was 6 years old. My parents, so they bought us this really old upright piano. It was a terrible instrument. And my brother and I, we just play, we just make up tunes on it and stuff like this. And then eventually my mother got us piano lessons, and I guess I was around 7 years old then, and since then I've just carried on playing piano. It's been a huge part of my life.
I see. But why piano? If it wasn't because of your mom bought you and your brother piano, would you take another instrument instead?
Well, I did play the violin for a few years, very badly. I did play the violin, but there's something about the piano. It's almost the connection I have with it. It's been a huge passion of mine, sharing music through this wonderful instrument, and I feel when I do play in front of audiences, I feel so connected to people, and it's something that really brings me joy, and I think it brings other people joy.
And I think you made the right choice of instrument as you are one of the youngest students to be accepted into the Royal College of Music and awarded a full scholarship. Is that true?
Yes. So
Now,
when I was...
Sorry, go on.
When I was-
I'm sorry.
When I was 15, I auditioned for the Royal College of Music, and then I started my bachelor's degree in the September after, and it was a wonderful 4 years of my life.
Wow. Tell us how you got there. I mean, obviously you told us that you took piano lessons, right? But when I see I have a son, and he's currently 6 years old, and he's taking piano lessons, and although it's his will to join the lesson, it is always very hard to make him practice every day. Now tell us, what were you like when you were that age? I mean, do you always love to practice every day? Does your mom have to push you? Tell us.
Well, it's I don't know. It's not a normal thing to my path. So I started piano, as I said. I started having lessons when I was around 7. But I really enjoyed these lessons, and I think I progressed quite quickly. And then I gave my sort of first public concert at 9 years old, which I understand is not a normal thing. But for me, I think this was a really important experience, sharing. I mean, I played in public before that, but to play for like an hour to an audience, it was a big turning point, and it made me think this is something that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that I want to continue doing for the rest of my life. And I think another big turning point for me was when I was 13. I left school. So I went to primary school for 7 years, and then I went to secondary school for, I think, 3 years. But then after that, I decided to focus solely on my music, because what I wanted to do, and to balance my piano career with my schoolwork was such a difficult thing to do. So I left school to focus full time, and then I think 2 years later I auditioned for the Royal College of Music.
Wow.
Okay, wow. So George, besides you are one of the youngest students to be accepted into the Royal College of Music, in 2018 you were shortlisted for a BRIT award, right? So how did the process work?
Well, actually, I'm not quite sure about all the details of the process, but I remember I got an email from someone I know in the business, and he just said, "Oh, you've been nominated for a Classic Brit Award. I think the award was called The Sound of Classical, and it's for young upcoming artists." And I was very grateful to be nominated for this award. And I think it's wonderful to see that to see recognition for young musicians such as myself, and I think it's really important for people my age to be recognized for the work that we put in, as music is not an easy career.
So it is intriguing for me for you to mention your age. I mean, how old are you now, if I may know?
So I turned 22 last Monday.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh wow! Happy belated birthday! Happy
birthday!
belated birthday! But also, 22, a young pianist. You chose to become a classical and concert pianist instead of pianist for popular music. Do you have any reason behind that? I mean, for these days in the industry, we saw lots of talents going for most prospective career in the popular music, but you yet chose to become a classical and concert pianist. Is there any reason behind that?
Well, classical music is something that I've grown up with. I mean, it's not classical, but my mother used to listen to. There's a pianist called Richard Clayderman.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
I mean, it's not classical music, but it's sort of going towards classical music, if you know what I mean. And this is some of the stuff I grew up listening to. And then, of course, when I started piano, my training was very classical, which means that, I mean, it's something that I've grown up with, and I adore classical music at the moment. The great thing about classical music is it's so, like, all pop music is based on classical harmonies. So for me to play pop music, it's an easy transition for me to make almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the moment, my focus is strictly classical. Who knows what the future holds? But at the moment, classical music is my passion, and I want to share this sort of music with audiences as much as I can.
I see.
But what are the challenges as a classical pianist in the music industry? I mean, earlier you mentioned that having a career in music isn't easy, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, classical music it's a strange world. I think the whole music business is quite a strange business. However, it's a weird and wonderful place. I mean, classical music, I think, is perhaps quite a spaced out industry. Like, I get to travel to amazing places to perform. I'll be coming to Indonesia in June, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, I get to travel to lots and lots of different places, and I understand that might not necessarily be the case with all pop musicians, especially ones who are just starting out. I get to travel a lot, and I get to play with different orchestras and meet new audiences. And also, I think that at the moment, to be kind of a young rising classical musician it's tough, but it's fun. And I feel that, like, for example, when I post online or when I do concerts, I get a lot of people who are happy to see young people playing classical music. And this is also something that now and definitely in the future I want to encourage and inspire the next generation of classical musicians. That's something that's really dear to me, and it's an important part of what I do, and I'm going to be doing as much as I can in the future.
Yeah, interesting. By the way, George, talking about Indonesia, your mother's side of the family is from Indonesia. So does Indonesia have any influence on your music?
I mean, of course, I was born in the UK, but my mother is from Jakarta, and when I was younger, I used to go to Jakarta once or twice every year and spend time with my family there. But unfortunately, I've never performed in Jakarta, and I feel like I really want to. It's an audience I really want to connect with. I do get a lot of people online from Indonesia asking when I'm going to be coming to Jakarta to perform or to Indonesia. And yeah, it's something I really want to explore more. I want to perhaps try playing some Indonesian music, for example, some transcriptions for piano. I think that could be really fun. Yeah, it's something I really want to connect with more because it's my heritage and it's important to me.
Oh well, so you will be in June, if I'm not mistaken, like you said before. So and also one of the things that caught my attention is also that you're very young, and also looking at you on the piano. It's some sort of, for me to see musicians getting in the zone when playing instrument, it's like they're in this state of possessed, something like that, like something like that. But George, you were saying about changing the transcript of Indonesian music to classical piano or something like that. Is there any Indonesian music that is familiar to you that you want to, probably you want to make a different arrangement to it and you play it in front of the audience, something like that?
Well, it's something I'm working on because. I mean, my mother, I remember when I went to Jakarta when I was young, I remember I used to hear songs, and my mother also knows a lot of Indonesian songs, and I think that I really want to explore this sort of music more, and I want to, definitely, when I go to Jakarta, I'll play something, nice. I mean, the program at the moment is very Western classical music. I'll be playing Beethoven, I'll be playing Rachmaninoff, but there'll be a few extra little pieces.
Wow.
All right.
That's the teaser.
That's the teaser. So for you out there listening to our conversation, you have something to look up for. All right, so we will talk more with George after the break, so don't go anywhere.